Magics and Tears, thanks again for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, my name is Riley and I'm a former Jehovah's Witness. So this is an unplanned follow-up video to my recent video about Noah and the flood and whether or not Noah preached about the oncoming flood to the people of the time. To be honest, I'm completely overwhelmed by the response to that video. It's been easily, by far, my most popular video in terms of how quickly it got a lot of views, and I'm just really overwhelmed by that response. I wasn't expecting it at all. And also I've gotten so many comments, it's just been impossible to keep up. Some of them have brought up some really good points, which is why I'm making a follow-up video today. But before I start, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched that video, liked it and commented. I really do appreciate all of the positive comments, and believe it or not, I also appreciate the negative ones as well. Because of the way that social media works, it's extremely easy to set up an echo chamber so that you're only surrounded by thoughts, ideas, and opinions that you agree with yourself, and filter or block out anything that's different. I don't want my channel or my life to be like that, so I encourage debate and I'm always open to hearing opposing viewpoints. And occasionally you even learn something from listening to differing views. If I only ever wanted to hear my own thoughts and opinions and ideas reflected back at me, frankly, I'd go back to being a Jehovah's Witness. But seriously, that's what it's like. It's like the governing body are like the original algorithm. Having said that, I have unfortunately had to delete and block a few people from the comment section, which I really don't like doing. But the only reasons I will do that is if someone is disrespectful to me or other commenters, using the comments section as a pulpit from which to preach, spreading misinformation or unverified theories. Besides those reasons, I won't delete any comments, I promise. Okay, so today I'd like to discuss some things that have been brought to my attention since I posted the original video, which I will link up there. And these points do add weight to the claim that Noah did not preach about the oncoming flood. So first up is the dimensions of the ark itself. Now, several people made a very interesting point about the physical dimensions of the ark itself. OJ Davis said this in the comments. I have to start off by saying I completely disagreed with you about the Bible itself. But that being said, what truly kills the Jehovah's Witness teaching that Noah preached the flood was coming is for the simple fact that the ark was built only so big, and it was instructed by God on how big to build it. So therefore, God did not commission Noah to tell anybody about the flood coming, because there would not have been room on the ark for the animals, for Noah's family living space, or anything else if he was preaching that the flood was coming and people believed him and tried to get on the ark with him. What an interesting and logical point. Let's say for the sake of argument that Noah did preach about the flood and 50 people listened to him and wanted to save their lives. How would the ark have accommodated them? What if it was 100 people or 1,000 people? Do you see the problem here? The ark's dimensions, its physical size and shape, were fixed at the point of the instruction to build it being issued. That strongly indicates that there was no intention for anyone other than Noah and his family to board it. Okay, moving on to the next point, the actual command to build the ark. Mario Crush left this very interesting comment. You were right. Genesis 6 confirms this. The ark was meant for Noah and family only, no other humans. God never told Noah to build the ark to save mankind and those who would listen to him. God specifically told Noah that he and his family are to go into the boat. And we can confirm this by reading Genesis chapter 6 and verse 18. There's no mention in that scripture at all of any kind of provision for anyone else being saved. Now, if that actually was the case, then Noah preaching to people would have spoiled the plan. You know, it would have been like that classic scene that's in practically every single prison escape movie, where the escapees hatch their plan and they arrange to meet at a rally point. And then when they all arrive there, one member of the group has brought a random person to tag along in the escape, and he didn't clear it beforehand with anybody else. That's actually what it would have been like. But but I digress. So the next point is Noah being a preacher of righteousness. So 2 Peter 2 verse 5 does describe Noah as being a preacher of righteousness. And on that point, this is what Larchwood20 on Twitter has to say. I read it as Noah was a preacher of righteousness, and that's exactly why he was chosen to build the ark. Everyone else was condemned. He stood out. No commission to preach about the flood. I think this is an excellent point, and when you read the scripture, you could reasonably argue that Noah was a preacher of righteousness before the flood, before he was chosen to build the ark. Also, if the righteousness that Noah was preaching about, as indicated in the scripture, was the oncoming flood, then you should be able to remove the word righteousness, replace it with the phrase the flood, read the scripture again, and it should still make sense contextually. But if you try this yourself, you'll see that it doesn't work. Admittedly, this last point is a little tenuous, and to be honest, the scripture is down to interpretation, but nevertheless, it is a thought-provoking point. That's all I have for you for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and please remember to be civil and respectful at all times. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching to the very end of the video. If you haven't already done so, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you like my work and want to help me continue doing it, please support me on Patreon at patreon.com/Jexit_2020. And with that, I'd like to sincerely thank these very special patrons who make these videos possible.